Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wild. Today, what we're going to be talking about is return orders on Doordash. These are orders that you tried to deliver to the customer and they are not allowing you to leave it at the door for whatever reason. So therefore, you must bring it back. It's not you can leave it at the door and text the customer, hey, I left it here. Have a good day, because the timer ran out. What happens here is that you will have to come back to the restaurant or wherever, the store, and drop the order back off so that way you can continue throughout the day. Now, all on the surface, that sounds like you're being put through more work, but there's actually benefits to doing this. So without further ado, let's go over what DoorDash tells you. We'll tell you how it actually is, and then let's get started. Some orders on DoorDash must be returned to the merchant if the customer is unavailable during the original delivery attempt. If the customer is unavailable upon drop-off, please go through the customer unavailable flow in your app. Once the timer is complete, you will see the instructions on what to do next. Let's take a pause for a second. The timer is usually about 5 minutes on DoorDash. On other apps, it's different. But in this case, the timer is 5 minutes. And once you get there, you would have to turn the timer on. So you have to choose to turn the timer on through marking that the customer is unavailable at the moment. But after that, it's going to give you a different workflow, and it will say within the app. If the order must be returned, then an automatic return order will be generated for you at the end of the customer unavailable timer. What's going to happen is that the timer's going to run out, and then they're going to say, hey, get started on returning the order. So at that point, that is when they will tell you you have to return the order. You can't just leave it at the door. Can't just bring it back someplace else. Can't go to another address. You have to bring it back to the store. The store will be expecting you. At least I think so. You will be paid 1.5 the original guaranteed pay for completing the original attempt and returning the order. Yeah, you thought DoorDash was just gonna work you to death and not actually pay you? Yeah, I genuinely thought so too. Don't worry about that. So what would happen is you get 1.5 the original guaranteed pay. What the base pay, you get the tip, all that, 1.5x that. That's excellent. Now, that being said, that doesn't mean you don't try to help the customer get their food. No, that's just messed up. But getting that 1.5x is kind of nice when you've been waiting outside someone's house in the dying heat, knocking on their door, ringing their doorbell, and trying to get in contact with them through phone and text the whole time, and they aren't even answering the phone. I'm not bitter, I promise. Failure to return the merchandise of the eligible orders can result in deactivation. Yeah, that's another thing. If you thought like, I don't want to go all the way back into that store. I just want to drop this off here and leave. No, don't do that. Do not risk your account for being stubborn. I would do that. I understand why people do that, but just don't do that to yourself, please. Some order types that must be returned to the merchant include grocery, alcohol, flowers, apparel. Okay, well, first of all, alcohol, you need an ID regardless, so I understand that. Grocery, I'm a little surprised because I've done grocery orders on Instacart and on other apps. They've actually requested. But I understand why they say it, because there are some like perishables that are like super cold, and that is something that needs to be considered. Flowers, I'm genuinely shocked because I was told leave it at the door multiple times. So I'm surprised that was a thing. Apparel. So I have yet to receive an apparel order from any app. So let me know how this works for you guys, because I have never once delivered clothing anywhere. And that's the end of this article, which is surprising, but I'm just gonna quickly talk about a couple things when it comes to alcohol delivery. If they do not have if they do not have their ID and they're under the age of 21, or they just cannot accept an alcohol order for any reason, this is when they'll generate two. Return orders will not, like it says here that it's only if the customer is unavailable during the delivery attempt, but it's really when like they just cannot receive it. And that can include they're just like plowed and you can't deliver it to them. they're under the age of 21 and they ordered alcohol, which is illegal. The person just isn't there. Put in the wrong address. That's another thing. If they put in the wrong address and DoorDash does not allow you to change the address, there are times when they do that. They will not let you bring it to the new address. They will have you just bring it back to the store. You aren't going to deal with these that often unless you're in an area where they're getting away with that a lot. Don't be one of those guys who looks at the fact that they have to return the items and just decide to deliver it anyway. Like, hey, I'll just leave it here. Don't do that. Please do not get yourself deactivated. I care more about you guys making more money. And I understand the extra 1.5x the original pay is actually very good for a lot of people. But please don't do that to yourself and get yourself deactivated, for the love of God. So with that said, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.